The King of Fighters. Select member.
最高のショーを見せてあげよう。
Alright, now that we've got the most obvious joke out of the way, let's go over Benimaru Nikaido and see what he can do. By the by, Beni actually is a motherfucking JoJo reference. Pawn the ref if you were wondering. When I think about it more, that JoJo comparison may be more apt than I thought. Like a certain pillar trio, Beni has a long history of being an absolute ass kicker since he walked into KOF along with two others. One being Iori, and we'll get to the other soon enough. Like Iori, this is one of those characters that I really struggle to find any flaws with. He's got the quick normals, quick specials that are also great at building meter, combos with or without meter, the ability to be very effective, close, mid-range, and even in the air. He can also hang with zoners thanks to his excellent projectile, but it will cost you some meter. Really, the only negative that comes to mind is that many of his specials and far normals hit so high that they whiff low opponents, so he can be susceptible to characters that have long range low normal or sliding attack. Still, feel free to put this guy anywhere on your team, he can get the job done. Beni's normals are all fast and work as fantastic pokes, as long as your opponent stays upright. Like I said a bit ago, the Achilles heel to all these far ones is that they have a pretty high hitbox. So if your opponent learns the art of crouching or has a move that slides them across the ground, you may find yourself losing more times than not at mid-range. Even far heavy kick, the one that actually does hit crouching opponents, still loses out to low or sliding attacks. One other normal I should mention is his jumping heavy kick, which has that oh so janky hitbox which makes it perfect for cross-ups. Now here's a first for these guides. I'm going to touch on throws for a bit because Beni has an air grab. Same execution as his forward throw, but done in the air instead. This is a good move for grounding jump happy opponents, as this puts you in perfect position to apply some pressure, and it can even be used as a combo ender. Command normals now when we kick off with jackknife kick, done with forward plus light kick, and hallelujah, it isn't another overhead. But wait, it isn't an overhead, it isn't a low, and it's not fast enough to combo off a close heavy. So what is it for? Well, you see that tiny little skip that he does right before the kick? Yeah, apparently that's good enough to make his entire lower body invincible. So if you're having problems with low attacks catching you at mid-range, here is your antidote. This move can be cancelled with anything on hit, so it also has usage with setting up subjuggles if used after EX Raijinken or blowback, as the move kicks your opponent up into the air. The other command normal is flying drill, any downwards direction and heavy kick in the air. And while this is no foot dive, it's still a nice move for cancelling air normals or making a sudden change of direction, catching opponents off guard, although it won't be starting any combos. Staying true to the rest of Beni's quick moveset, we have his first special, Iai Geri, quarter circle forward and kick. This is a lightning quick knee strike that has much more range than it looks and is your go-to tool for filling out combos or punishing whiffs and unsafe attacks. Even when blocked, it's almost impossible to punish. It can then be followed up with Inazuma Sandan Geri, down up then kick. Only do this if the knee hits, as this is the bit that's very punishable. The light and heavy versions are the same, while the EX version comes out even faster and buffs the damage for both the knee and the follow-up. Raimeito is up now, quarter circle back and punch. This electric slash is a pretty good move for approaching opponents as it removes projectiles, and it can even be used to set up some short juggles due to how it launches the opponent. Be real careful with the heavy version though, it's safe on block unlike the light version, but as a payoff it's one of the slowest attacks in the moveset. But the true value of this move? The EX version. At close range it may just look like a more damaging variant of the light version, but use it when backed up and... oh hey, there's that projectile I was talking about. Now this projectile is exclusive to the EX version, so it isn't a zoning tool, but rather an anti-zoning one. This projectile is fast, tall, and not only deletes projectiles, but cuts right through them on its way to the opponent. One hit of this plus a dash will have you right back in the face of someone trying to zone you out. Another fast special, Raijinkin, quarter circle forward and punch, is probably the one you're going to be using the most along with the Aigeri. This special has a bit more range and damage than the knee while only being a touch slower. So this can just be another move for the combo pile, but it can also destroy projectiles, be super cancelled on whiff, and is also a decent anti-air move. The light version at least. The heavy version is really slow and whiffs on crouching opponents, so don't bother with this outside of combos. It can even be used in the air and functions very similar to Shune's Blauwing, in that it can cancel jumping punches and is blowback, and that the heavy version pushes Beni back a bit to make some space. The EX version on the ground causes a crumple, while the air EX version keeps the electric ball lingering around for much longer. Both are amazing tools for Beni's combo game. Now imagine this, you're in the corner doing a great job blocking Beni's quick attacks and oh, I'm sorry, that's also a wrong move because he's got a command grab. Of course he does. Benimaru Collider, done with half circle back then forward plus punch, is his grab that's best used for catching opponents that keep doing that annoying blocking thing. It can also be used as a combo ender, and both light and heavy versions of the move have the same properties. The EX version ends faster, allowing you to follow up with a damaging combo. It's basically a crumple causing move with some extra steps. And to end specials, we have a move that wasn't present in King of Fighters 14, Super Jinrai Kick, Z motion forward then kick. One of Benimaru's flaws in 14 was that he didn't possess a great anti-air move. Yeah, light Raijinkin was serviceable, but it wasn't great. Guess SNK were horrified to find out that he had some kind of weakness, so here is your DP, sir. It comes complete with upper body invincibility on startup, good damage making it a nice combo ender, and even more damage with the heavy and EX versions. The one drawback for this move is that it is by far his most unsafe move. Block this and you've got Beni set up on a T. The first of his two supers, Raikoken, is a double quarter circle forward plus punch that's basically a beefed up version of Raijinkin. It's your usual combo ender. But there's one notable thing about it. There's a difference between the light and heavy versions. The light version hits straight ahead while the heavy version goes diagonally. You may now be assuming this works like Raijinkin and the heavy version should be ignored mostly. But no. This version exclusively has upper body invincibility, making it a good anti-air option. Still misses crouching opponents though. The second super is Benimaru Rising Shot, double quarter circle forward plus kick. This one is a properly traditional KOF super. It's got some pretty good horizontal reach, but otherwise this is just a combo ender that's way more unsafe on block than Raikoken. You know, it'd be really easy for me to just say that you could do anything with Benimaru and leave it at that, but that wouldn't make for much of a guide, now would it? With Beni, you have the speed advantage, so use his wide array of fast normals and Aigeri up close to overwhelm your opponents, then hit them with a solid combo once one of those moves connect. At mid-range, you can dissuade your opponent from being too aggressive with Raijinkin, but if they get too close, you have Super Jinrai Kick as a good reversal to back them up. If the opponent starts to adjust to your strikes, well then it's time to bust out the Benimaru Collider. But if they try to run away instead, you have one of the best projectiles in the game to help you catch them in EX Raimeto. Playing against a Benimaru? Good luck. Only things I can recommend is that you should try to stay at about mid-range and counter his offense with a series of low attacks, as many of his far moves will fly right over your head. You aren't going to be able to beat him on the draw close range. But if the Beni player starts using Jackknife Kick or, hops, you may have some issues there too. One other thing is to keep an eye out for Super Jinrai Kick and Inazuma Sandan Geri. Blocking either of these is your big chance to turn the tables and knock his ridiculous hair right off his dome. Mr. Nikaido, the electrically charged womanizer, is now done. As always, if you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, leave a comment, and check out the playlist. I may have already done a guide on the character you're interested in. You guys and gals stay safe out there, and I will be back tomorrow with a treasure.
That was a nail-biter! Keep an eye on this matchup! Winner!
美しい俺に見とれちまうのはわかるけど、それで負けてりゃ世話ないぜ。